with Halachot of Lashon Hara. We're discussing different misconceptions and when Lashon Hara is still Assur, still forbidden. Category number 10 is even if one will be ridiculed. Certainly if it is only a person's social status and honor that will suffer as a result of his refusing to relate Lashon Hara or Rechilut, he is not permitted to do so. So obviously, it's a big temptation, but the halakha doesn't ban. If someone is sitting in a big group of friends and everyone is speaking of something chas v'shalom not Lashon Hara, for example, if one is with a group of friends and the topic turns to Lashon Hara or other forbidden speech, and he joins in, he will transgress several prohibitions. If he remains silent, he will be considered a fool and an outcast. In such a case, he is prohibited from participating in the discussion, even minimally. It is for these scenarios that Chazal have stated, it is better for a person to be called an imbecile his entire life and not be considered a rasha for one moment before Hashem. So obviously, it sounds intuitive, but the Chafetz Chaim brings halakha down that someone might say, no, what if I don't join in? They'll disassociate me. They'll cancel me. They won't invite me next time. It doesn't matter what the excuse is. We discuss business, status, and honor is even more so, where you're not allowed to join in this scenario. Additionally, in a situation such as this, Chazal's dictum certainly applies. See Ger Tagra. For every second that a person curtails his mouth, in particular Lashon Hara, he merits a hidden light that no angel or creation can fathom. It's a famous piece from the Gaon of Vilna that when we refrain ourselves from speaking negatively, we will gain access to a lot of reward that the greatest angels or creations won't have access to either. And lastly, one should also realize that through this, he will be considered an Ohev Hashem, a friend of Hashem, and whom it is written, and those who love him, their face will shine, says the Chafetz Chaim, like rising sun in its strength, glory. So the halakha, the Chafetz Chaim reiterates that obviously there's no permissibility for your status or because your friends are doing it. That's the exact scenario that someone who holds himself back gets rewarded. They quote the Lefum Tzara Agra from Avot in Avot Rabbi Natan. It says 100 times with pain, more than 100 times without pain. This means that reward is 100 times greater for an act performed or prohibition abstained from with great difficulty than the same act performed with ease. Obviously, if someone's surrounded by people speaking Lashon Hara and he holds himself back, the reward is 100 times fold based on this midrash. We should strive to continue to keep these halachot in the best possible way. Chazak u'baruch.